Moses Lake High School students. This is Miss Feline.
And Miss Gonzalez.
And we are representing the counseling office to go over the registration process and registration materials for the 2018-2019 school year.
All right, you should now have hands on a course guide and a registration form. The first thing we want to do is make sure that you have your last name and first name, your teacher and room number, and your Skyward login ID and password are correct on your form. This is a form, we'll be looking at the class of 2020's form, and every class has a different form, so theirs could look different, theirs will look different than yours. After we've looked at the registration form, we'll go back to the course guide, but before that, I want to let you know that if you lose any of this or need to share this information, you can always go to the Moses Lake High School website and then go to the counseling tab, hit the registration and scheduling, and here you will see a list of the course guide, the presentation, and the
registration forms for each class.
All right, so there's that on our website. Now let's go to the course guide.
And so the first page on the course guide is the table of contents. This is pretty much where you can find all of our information that is in this book. There's quite a lot of information in here, and it'll tell you the page numbers on where you can locate that information.
All right, and then you can see what's new at Moses Lake High School for the 2018-2019 school year. There are some different courses that have been added, and they may interest you, so you might want to look at those.
After that, we have really good information on the registration process and procedures. Please look over this with a parent or guardian. It is very important. After that, we have lots of information that we really want you to read on your own. We don't have enough time to go over it now, but it'll start off with graduation requirements, and then it'll go into sample plans for your 4 years of high school. And then you will see post-secondary information and also information about programs and different opportunities at Moses Lake High School.
All right. Then we get to this page that has the list of classes, and it actually is 2 pages of all of the classes we offer at Moses Lake High School. What we want you to especially look at and know what they are each department will have a list of the classes that they offer. And if we look at English 9A at the very top, and it says A and B, which means that this class is a full year class because it has an A and a B. If you keep going, the E stands for English, and you can look at the type of credit key at the very top of the form, and then it goes and lets you know what the course code is and then how many credits you will earn with those 2 classes. And so this information is offered for every class that we have at Moses Lake High School.
And the importance for the course code, when you fill out your registration form, and we'll show you that in a second, that is what you're going to use when you write down the classes that you are selecting.
Okay.
So let's go to the science area. It starts on page 22 in the course guide, so I want you guys to start turning to that page, but we are going to look at material science. So, material science is a science class. It is a grade level for 9th through 12th, so anybody in high school can take this class. Prerequisites, there are none. So what that means is you do not need to take a class before you take this class.
Right, and the graduation requirement that it can fulfill is a CTE class, a lab science, or an elective.
You'll see a description about material science, and then you will see that there's a CADR, a cater, and a 2-for-1 right next to material science. That means it could be a 2-for-1 class, or it is a cater class that counts towards a university. to the right, you can see that this class is only 1 semester long, so it's not all year. It is worth half a credit, and the code is SC1020. This part of the course guide is just an example of where you can find all information about each class at the high school, just a little more information about each one.
All right, now that we've gone over the registration form and the course guide, we also want you to know that you can and should probably look at your graduation requirements on Skyward. This might look a little different, but you have to view it on a computer and not on your phone. You would go under graduation requirements, and this will give you what classes or what kinds of credits you still need for graduation.
So for Joe Chief, he does have some science credits left. He has a full credit left. And so we are going to have him take material science on his registration form, and we'll go over that in a second. We would love for you to plan your next year's classes based off of what you have left for graduation. So let's take a look at your registration form right now.
Which you want to make sure that it has your first name and last name on it so that you do not have your neighbor's form but your own. And for anyone interested in doing Running Start, you would just circle the yes, get your parent's signature, and you are done with this form.
And that is only for juniors and seniors. So your first step 1, 2, and 3 is pretty much what we're going over now. And if you need any help, it's on our website. But step 4 is what we want you to start at, and that is selecting your plan for after high school. Joe Chief is interested in welding, so he wrote that down. And then his path for post-high school education is to go to a community college, technical college, which is probably towards welding.
All right. And then we go to step 5. Step 5, for juniors, you have the option of taking regular English 11 A and B or AP Language A and B. And you will see that Joe Chief has decided to take English 11 A and B, and he wrote that in each box. And then he put the correct course code. Each form is hand keyed, so it's very important that you put the title of the course and the correct course code.
And then step 6 is the history option. And so each form is going to be a little bit different, but it'll be history. And then step 7 will be math. And it just depends on what your form says, how you will follow that. And then lower, step 8 for junior form is a select a science or an elective class. And so here's where we wrote material science for Joe Chief. And then he has the correct code in the boxes.
After he has decided he's only going to take one science course, then he goes to step 9 and then chooses the elective classes. And those are classes that could be science, CTE, fine arts, PE, health, and personal pathway requirements. So he will list all of the elective courses he would like to take.
And so you want to make sure when you fill out your form, every box is filled out. We did skip the box next to material science, but he would most likely fill that in with an elective class that he chooses. We use power walking as an example to show you. So this is a class that can be 1 semester or can be year long. And so Joe is going to take it for a year. And so he wrote in the year-long code, which has a Y at the end. If it's for a semester, it only has an S. And so he crossed out the box next to it because since it's year-long, it takes up 2 boxes.
Okay, it's very important that you fill in all of the boxes, including step 10 that has 2 alternate courses that you would like to take in case you cannot get into the elective courses that you chose. And so it's very important you choose the classes that you are interested in because you could end up in those classes.
So below step 11 is ranking your track choice. We want your first option and your second option. Step 12, that means this form is due back to your teacher on February 13th, and we need your signature and your parent's signature. You will also meet one-on-one with your counselor here shortly, and we will go over this registration form for you. This was Miss Feline
and Miss Gonzalez
signing out.